Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining me. We are jumping into some more terminal videos today, so we're going to be reacting to the Halo 4 terminals. Now, if you watch my last couple of videos going through the Combat Evolved and Halo 2 Anniversary terminals, I thought that they were very well done. They were very well made artistically. I thought the dialogue and the writing was good. It was interesting seeing characters from those games giving some extra information about kind of the world and everything. But what I felt with those games is that they really only gave information related to their respective games, which is fine. That makes sense. But what that tells me now is I should expect for the Halo 4 terminals to really give more context and information specifically with Halo 4, right? And from there, I might be able to extrapolate some information and apply it more to Halo 5, which was really my goal behind all these React videos. Excuse me, was taking the information from the terminals and seeing what would be useful going into Halo 5, which I'm under the impression that you need to have some kind of background information with the lore and the Halo universe a little bit. That's what I've seen. I don't know specifically what's important. And that's kind of the thing with these terminal reactions is that with specifically Combat Evolved and Halo 2, there was good information with it, but I felt that there wasn't really anything that stood out to me that I think could apply directly to the new games, right? Whether that's Halo 4 or perhaps Halo 5 or whatever. With that being said, then, getting into the Halo 4 terminals, I'm expecting these are really going to flesh out some information regarding the last game I played, which was Halo 4. And I have a lot of questions about Halo 4 and what was going on beyond just kind of the main events in that game, right? And I'm hoping some of these will explain some things. I can already see just off of the names of it that it might get in some information regarding at least the Prometheans a little bit, perhaps the Forerunners and all that stuff as well. So with all that being said, let's jump into it. What do you mean the location's unknown? If you don't know, how the hell am I supposed to know? Shipmaster Madam. Huh. That's definitely a name. Okay. Oh, so okay, so this must be then the Covenant stumbling across Requiem, which would explain, okay, so this would explain a little bit then the setup of Halo 4. Excuse me. As far as them being there already. Okay. And then this human ship, is that supposed to be us then, I'm assuming? It sure looks like it. That's interesting. I like that. Okay. Alright, what else you got for me now? Oh. Okay. Oh, here we go. Finally, give me some context to this, Miss Librarian.
Revenge. Abandon the mantle and all that its philosophy has given us these 1,000 generations.
All our plans have been torn asunder.
More reason not to abandon our beliefs. The mantle is our guidepost in times such as these. We must not falter in following its teachings. The enemy must be sent home and taught to stand with the galaxy, rather than rail against us and take what they desire. The mantle shelters all.
Didact, you make a fair, if uncomfortable, point. You have my support. Librarian, will you likewise follow the mantle as the Didact suggests?
Yes, Master Builder.
You're not angry at me.
Oh my god, I'd be angry at
We
you with a
had this
face like
discussion
that.
a
Holy
century
fuck.
ago.
Ah, so you are angry at me.
What
You'll
is this? Are they a
change, yes.
married couple bickering?
Not now. You'll depart for Requiem soon?
At dawn, my Prometheans are already there.
Already there. You knew the Master Builder would side with you.
Should we step back inside the council chamber?
No. I would rather we spend our night out here. There will be fighting enough in the days ahead.
I'm going to try and reserve judgment because I got a hunch that it's going to explain more. Obviously, that was the first one. But like that was that one terminal, and really I could say the two of them combined was more information about Halo 4 that I wanted to know than any of the other terminals. Which is, I should have expected that. I should have expected that obviously the Halo 4 terminals are going to have more going on with Halo 4. It's just the way that I figured it would be is that there'd be something related to the Forerunners or something along the way with those other ones that would be relevant, but this is already so much more. And this is dealing with the Diadactyl Librarian, which, I mean, I don't know how else to look at it. They look like they're a couple or some sort, right? Married or whatever they have, whatever version of that is for them. Didact is going to go to Requiem. But, like, they keep yapping about this mantle, right? And maybe they'll get more into that. But they were talking about the mantle in the games too, and it was something like the mantle is something you take over. I don't remember how they described it exactly, but they were yapping about that. The Didact was making some points about that, like the humans haven't assumed the mantle, right? Or something like that. And is that like, I don't understand what that's supposed to be. Is that supposed to be like the rulers of the universe or something? Is that the point of it? Because the mantle takes care of all or shelters all or whatever they said there. So like something to that effect. They mentioned it before is the important point. Maybe they'll explain some more about it. Let's get back into it. Okay, so here's Requiem. This is good. What is this? What is Requiem?
My love,
Because it's
fear
Forerunner.
from your heart.
I get that much, obviously.
War is your realm, Didact, not mine. And you marched to this war, facing foes that, while always aggressive, were never so aggressive as they are now.
Your fears are unfounded. The enemy will be turned, and I shall stand by your side once more.
Promise me that.
I promise you.
It just looks so
Nothing will stand between us.
sightly. I don't. Ugh. So what's the conflict then? Is this the humans versus the Forerunners business? It sure looks like it. All right, so two observations with this one. Number one, the humans are very technologically advanced, which is an amazing idea. I don't know when this is exactly as far as the year, whatever you want to call it, right? But obviously it's like, and I kind of I kind of wondered about this with the whole librarian cutscene from Halo 4, depicting the war between the humans and the Forerunners. That the humans obviously had some kind of capacities to fight the Forerunners to begin with. I don't know if they took the technology or developed something themselves, but they were obviously a match for them, right? And that's what's being depicted here. And so it's interesting then, in the firing of the Halo rings, we got reset. We got nerfed. What the hell? And the second observation, um, which is maybe more speculative. So, is this depicting the start of the conflict in that the humans are attacking Requiem to take out this flood, right, which they've been fighting, and that is that going to piss off the Forerunners then and start the conflict? That's kind of what I'm wondering, or maybe if they're already at war and it doesn't really matter. I don't know. That's just an interesting idea. But let's just jump back into it.
Lord of Admirals, so very many years have we battled. My finest opponent. The mantle accepts all who live fiercely, who defend their young, who build and struggle and grow. And even those who dominate, as humans have dominated, cruelly, without...
If I didn't know better, I'd say the Didact was talking at him with some sort of respect.
But for all of us, there is a time like this. And for you, that time is now. Know this, relentless enemy, killer of our children, Lord of Admirals. Soon we will face the enemy you have faced. And we are afraid.
My life workers are investigating, but I believe the humans were never attacking us.
Tell that to the millions of dead.
Okay, so this is what I was kind of just wondering
Humans were
about.
acting as caretakers, pruning away planets so that this infection would not spread.
They took the mantle of responsibility upon themselves. And in so doing, they brought this sickness to our shores.
Husband.
Ah, there it is. This is this is incredible. These are incredible. This is way more like, and this is the thing. I didn't mind the other terminals, but I feel like this is exactly what I wanted. It was just more context on this shit. Is like explaining the Forerunners, and they're very human, which is not what I was expecting. I mean, not just like physically. Obviously, they look kind of similar, like a bunch of Lord Voldemorts or something. But I mean, as the way that in the ways they interact. I mean, obviously, it's probably speaking English for the audience's benefit more than anything. But it's still, there's something very human about their personality and their characterization, right? The things that they seem worried about and what they're acting upon, right? And with that one in particular, with that terminal there, a couple of things again. So the mantle of responsibility. Which makes me wonder if I was kind of right in that it's like they assume the mantle of responsibility. So like they're taking it upon themselves to act for the sake of others, like, or in the name of others, or making decisions for others, right? That's what it sounds like. And I'm wondering if the Didact is looking at it then where it's like the Forerunners are the shit, you know what I mean? And the humans are flexing on them, you know what I'm saying? And so like that's between that and then the humans are attacking the Forerunners, not like out of like any kind of intention, like intentional spite or malice, because they're looking at it like, hey, we got to take him out, or else it'll just be more potential flood hosts or whatever, which is a fascinating idea. Basically, this entire war may very well have been based off of a misunderstanding, right? I'm really hoping there's some more to this. Let's get back into it. Okay, so here's Halo, and I understand the point of all that.
Humans' threaten the galaxy, yet we have treated them as the mantle required. Their punishment is just.
Justice is reducing their genetics in such short generations from a spacefaring race to this.
What?
They are closer now to the animals they behaved as.
Oh, so they preemptively nerfed us. I thought the Halo ring shit was what made us reset. Not this. They turned us into a bunch of cavemen.
The humans were not meant to protect others.
The hell?
The mantle of responsibility for all things is ours, and ours alone.
Okay.
Yes,
Sure.
the mantle is ours. And we hold it so tight that even in death we shall hold it still.
Uh-oh. Well, so they're still fighting the flood then, which is what they were kind of getting at, right? Okay. Well, there was less in that one than I wanted as far as explaining the flood and all this. Oh, well, here. Get back into it, Faber. Tell me more about that.
The essence of life itself. The only way to stop their advance is to remove that life upon which they feast.
My life
Sure.
workers have made plans for the reseeding of humanity and of all life after the Halos are fired.
So you agree the Halos are our only solution?
I do.
And your husband?
My husband has a different opinion of what steps to take against the flood.
Did it work? Run the simulation. The procedure is a failure. I am still susceptible to flood infection.
Hmm?
That leaves only the composer.
It will not work on my new form.
Then you will lead us, as always.
You would submit to such sacrifice.
Didactic. If the composer is our final hope to defeat the flood, no Promethean would resist.
Okay, so maybe I was incorrect. I assumed in my Halo 4 playthrough that the possibility of the flood's origins was because of this composer, but that doesn't seem to be the case here then.
Rise and protect the Forerunners!
And that the composer turns regular forms into this crap, where it's the organic and then it's the machine. And so the abomination shit that they talked about in that cutscene doesn't matter. Okay. Well, that explains more about the Prometheans as I understand them from Halo 4. Even though it just called this guy a Promethean soldier before all that. So get into this then. So he made the knights to combat the flood, right? Okay.
The flood is still too strong. Perhaps if I had greater numbers. Humans, your kind brought the flood to our shores. Now you will aid in ending its threat.
Okay, here, now I'm wondering if these will become the abominations. I just gotta understand the librarian cutscene more. And I'm assuming it's gonna mess up now.
They were
Okay, so they're just data flowing in the wind then. They didn't. I'm gonna reserve my comments until this one's done. I got some thoughts here. I got some questions too.
Forgiveness. I know your reasons. I understand them. I know you.
Oh, she's gonna shoot him in the back. It's a tragic tale of love.
I ask you, forgive my transgressions. Like yourself, all I have done. I have done for the greater good.
Better shoot him again. One more time, just for good measure.
Our time as the galaxy's caretakers is past. The Flood have overrun us. In the days to come, the Halo rings will fire, eradicating the Flood and all other life for a time. I have worked hard to index all species in known space. When the time comes, these indexes will open.
Okay. Here's the thing. These are a lot better. These are more. Let me put it this way. These are a lot more of what I wanted. I want more. It's not enough. I have many. Some of my questions have been answered. I understand the build up to not just Halo 4, right, but also kind of the overall Forerunner. It's like a brief history of Forerunners, right? It's the Cliff Notes version. But like there's still a lot going on that I don't fully understand as far as their structure and like everything else. Like they keep dropping these names like the Master Builder and the Life Workers and all this kind of stuff. Like the way that it seemed to me was like the Master Builder was in some way responsible for like I don't know if it was like Requiem or the Halo rings or something to that effect, and then the life workers are responsible for like life forms, which makes sense. And is that I'm gonna assume that's what the librarian is because she's talking about indexing all of these species, right? So like, and the light and the cutscene in Halo 4 that involves her as well dealt with this, where it's like I planted the seeds for humanity's rise, and explain more of it in that last cutscene, the terminal there, where it's like the librarian planned for humans to evolve from our primitive state to then get back to the point where we could assume the mantle of responsibility and like all the Prometheans like like all the Forerunners are gone except for the Didact, which is the importance of that then is like she spared him in the hopes that when he came out of his hibernation there that he would be like forgiving of us and be like, "Oh, I'll let me teach you all the things you forgot, right? Because you're in charge now and I'm just here to help." Uh, that was pretty fucking naive to assume that that would be the case. I'm just going to throw that out there. um, and the events of Halo 4 have clearly demonstrated that the Didact was no friend of ours. So that's an interesting it's a good setup. It is. And like I said with Halo 4 overall, I thought the story was pretty good. I do. I do think it's pretty good. And the setup with the Prometheans and the Forerunners and Requiem and all that kind of stuff. I don't know why I don't know what Requiem is, by the way. Like it's obviously Forerunner. I got that much between the game and these terminals here. But like was it like the Didact's like base of operations, right? Or what exactly? Like what's the point of what's the importance of Requiem? Or is that just like how they made shit? Cuz like Requiem is a very if you recall from Halo 4, right? It's an interesting balance. It's very much like the Halo rings where you have all this technology stuff going on, but then you also have these very natural settings, right? And between the two of those, it's like what is Requiem made to be? Because I notice in the terminals here that the humans in their primitive forms were on the Halo rings and not just some random fucking planet or like Earth or whatever it is, right? What is the significance of placing us there? Because that's what it seemed like was the librarian put us there even though we were devolved, right? It's combat devolved, but like not, you know what I'm saying? But like not really, right? And so is that just to keep us safe and like let study us until we evolve back into the form that we can assume the mantle, but then like the Didact saying no, we're in charge, right? And then obviously that leads into the events of Halo 4 eventually, right? And that's where part of the conflict comes from. This is good background information. This does help explain some things in Halo 4. I don't know how useful it's going to be for Halo 5. I do appreciate that it goes over some of these things with the Didact if he's going to show up again. This is really good context for him as a character and like what was going on and why he was pissed off at us. Like I understand that so much more now just from a couple of cutscenes, right? I do like that. That's good. And the librarian as well, seeing more of her and understanding where she's coming from. She was much more benevolent, and the Didact was looked at it from the perspective of a warrior, right? That it was a war, and you know we fought them, and perhaps unjustly, you could argue, I suppose, right, from his perspective anyway, and so it justifies our our devolving and everything, and then of course his anger, his willingness to fight us in Halo 4. obviously, because he was the same. He went in and came out the same person. He didn't grow or learn from his perspective as the librarian had hoped. Like I said, pretty goddamn naive in my opinion, but I don't make the rules. I just play the games. So I don't know. I appreciate the background information it has. And like I said, I appreciate you guys also recommending these to me. I wouldn't have done these otherwise probably. This is good information. This is good context. I actually do want to know more as well. If there's other things. I'm probably gonna jump into Halo 5 after these. I don't know what else I can do to kind of do my homework as it is. Like if I can't get information based off of these, then I don't know what to tell you, because I don't really want to go like look at all this shit online and figure stuff out. Because I also, again, I want to avoid spoilers, and I figure that there's gonna be something in there that's involved, and I don't want any of that context. So it's kind of a delicate balance. So I'm going to leave it at this because there's nothing so outlandish as far as the information that I think it's ruining anything for Halo 5, right? But maybe there's something here that's useful in helping me understand the setup of that story. And that's part of it too with Halo 4's ending, is it was kind of weird in how it didn't really set up too much for Halo 5. And so maybe some of this helps. With that being said, guys, that's all I got for this one. Let me know what you think about these. I've had a lot of fun reacting to these. I would actually do other reaction stuff with just watching videos as well, if you have anything in mind. Let me know what you think about these, though. So once this is out, I'm going to start my playthrough for Halo 5. And obviously, we'll see just how useful all this really is as far as background information. So that's all I got for this one. Thanks for watching.